You've got what it takes.
Ladies and gentlemen, ready for countdown. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, ignition.
Man, this is some of the greatest stuff I've ever heard. Ooh.
These go to 11.
Here at TWRS, we're always here to help our squad when they need a little push in the right direction. That's just who we are. We're a beautifully diverse group of goofballs dedicated to driving fake race cars as fast as possible. And we continue to push each other to the front using the power of nonsense. We have one of the strongest NASCAR programs on the service, and you can access it all for $24.99 a month. And we just released individual subscriptions for $14.99 a month for each NASCAR vehicle. We also just added a Rallycross program, and our IndyCar program is taking off as well. So come join the weird side. We have speed and cookies. Cookies are not included in some locations.
If you love the thrill of racing but hate the risks, then buckle up. Everything Simulated is here to merge adrenaline with absolute safety. In a world where technology meets adrenaline, Everything Simulated is revolutionizing driver training with state-of-the-art simulators. From truck training to the thrill of motorsports, our simulators offer the most realistic experiences across all automotive applications. Gone are the days of endless bookwork and basic drills. Now it's all about hands-on, pulse-pounding action that prepares you for the real deal. Whether you're maneuvering a heavy mining vehicle or racing a high-speed car, our simulators, equipped with cutting-edge technology from leaders like Simrigs and Track Racer, bring every nuance of the drive to life. And talk about making a mark. We're not just building simulators, we're fostering talent. From grassroots motorsports to professional series like the Aussie Outlaw GT3, sponsored by us, everything simulated is fueling dreams and careers. Ready to feel the excitement of the racetrack under your fingertips? Connect with us, and let's build your next simulator adventure together. Remember, we support those who support us. Join the Everything Simulated family, and let's race towards the future.
Welcome to Lucas Oil Raceway Park outside of Indianapolis for the Southern Thunder Truck Series. Boy, do we have a treat for you guys here tonight. I'm Sean Signori here with my buddy Mark Johansson in the booth. Looking forward to some beating and banging on this 7/10 of a mile short track. Tonight will certainly be fun to watch. IRP is an old school short track with not much room to spare throughout the field. Tire strategy and pit strategy is always super important in a place like this. How you doing, Mark? You looking forward to this tonight?
Yeah, mate. Yep, I certainly am. I've been out of the booth for 12 months now, and happy to come back and give you guys a hand here on Southern Thunder Trucks. Yeah, interesting track. Definitely not wide enough to go three wide here in the turns, but there's going to be some great action, even with the numbers we've got here tonight. It's going to be interesting. Really is going to come down to pit stops, I think. Two ways they can do it. They can split the race in half and pray that their tyres hold out for a half tank of gas, and or they can go for the three stop. I know which one I'd be going for. I'd be playing it safe here tonight if I was these drivers.
Most definitely. As we see our track facts here, we got a track length of about 7/10 of a mile. Located right outside Indianapolis, 175 laps here tonight. 4 sets of tires in the pits and a fuel range of about 120 laps. So these guys can go 120 laps on a full tank of fuel, but those tires are the big question mark. I don't think we're going to be seeing 120 laps on tires tonight.
Nah, definitely not. The right front's the one that's going to hurt here because it's very different. You've only got 7.5 degree banking in the turns and only 2 degrees down the back straight and the front straight. So the guys are going to need to get on the brakes hard, and we've seen in practice a lot of guys getting a big push out of turn 4 and out of turn 2, and rubbing the outside of the trucks on the wall. So just run through some key points of the race tonight.
Managing turn, entry, and exit, as you were just talking about, saving those tires, not burning them up on your entries and not burning it up on the exit. It's going to be crucial if you want to make your pit strategy work. Maintaining consistency lap after lap after lap. You don't want to burn your tires up really early in the run. You want to make sure you got something later in the run for these guys. These guys tend to go green, not many cautions in these races.
And the other big thing there for the consistency, Sean, is that if you get into a long run, it's concentration that's going to come into it too.
Most definitely. Fatigue is always an issue at the short tracks. As we go to our final key, pit strategy and timing, as it all comes together. When you going to pit, when you got to come down and take those tires. You know, these truckers, they're always doing something different from one another. There's always somebody going long, somebody pitting a little early. These guys definitely like to mix it up on the strategy front. We check out our season-long standings here. Brad Newman kind of running away with it from last year's champion Ruben Phelps. He's got a 92-point lead, sitting on those 5 wins out front. Ruben Phelps second. Lachlan Urquio, last week's winner at Gateway, closing in a little bit. Now he's 106 back. Matty Raymond fourth. Wine Bundell fifth. Andy Barber in sixth. Mark Grocott in seventh. Brian Barber in eighth. Jason Holdsworth ninth. And Brad Wright rounds out your top 10.
Yeah, I kind of sort of going for Ben Henkler there, who's on screen. He's a dark horse. He can really turn things up. But just looking at those points and their team, SRM of Matty Ray, Ruben Phelps and Lachlan Urquhart, very close, very good team. They work well together, pushing each other. So it's definitely going to be an interesting race tonight.
Yeah, those guys been all over each other for most of their races. We head towards our race picks tonight. Who are we going to choose? I'm going to choose that 83 of Matty Raymond. Only a 10th off of the fast lap right now. He tends to be up front in all of these races towards the end. I think he's got something for them tonight. What about you, Mark?
Oh, look, I've got to go to 213 of Ben Henker. I think he's the dark horse in this race. I know he comes from a speedway background. Watching him in practice, he seemed to be the most consistent out there and staying off that outside wall, which is going to be one of the key things tonight.
What are you thinking about, Kobe? Who are you going to pick for tonight?
I think the man to watch tonight is going to be Andy J. Barber. He's been on fire in all my leagues in the last several weeks, so he's definitely carrying momentum. Keep an eye out for him, lads.
Not a bad pick at all. All 3 of these guys, we're going to be looking forward to them racing up front, battling for the win. As we head over into the qualifying session now, and everybody in practice was about a 10th and a half, a 10th spread out amongst the field. So this pole is up for grabs for anybody as we watch the 42 of Lachlan Urquio come out of the pits here on his warm-up lap. Like we said before, he was last week's winner at Gateway. Got some momentum coming in here. I think he took a big win there at Pocono about a month or so back and continued his hot streak with a win last week.
Yeah, Lachlan's always been a hard front charger. It'd be interesting to see where he does, if he gets pole, how he'll run this race. I would expect his teammates up there close to the back of him and help him along.
Here's that Ford truck of Tim Blundell, looking to possibly make a statement here tonight, run up front with some of these guys. Short tracks bring opportunities to some of these fellas who maybe aren't up front week in, week out. Short tracks keep the field close and mistakes are frequent. As we start seeing our first times come in, the Ford truck comes in with a 22.03 on pole at the moment, ahead of Lachlan, almost a whole 10th ahead of Lachlan. That's actually pretty surprising as we are watching this 86 out here.
And just as you said that, Lachlan Urquhart jumps in with a 21.5. So that's a pretty good time around this track. All we see there coming out of turn 2, I should say, the back end just gets around on the 96 truck.
You mentioned it earlier, off of these corners are going to be a little bit of a calamity corner tonight. These trucks with this not much banking, you're fighting the gas pedal more than anything.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember the way I used to drive this. I'm pretty sure I used to get off the gas and let it roll into about mid-corner, then get back on the gas and drive the thing out hard to try and drive them off those rear wheels and give that right front a rest. Because turning in too sharp is on the gas will just burn that fire up. And again, we see Barber will get loose and into the outside wall.
Yeah, he was definitely fighting that one. Luckily, he was on his first lap. He can go back out there and make another shot at it as we see our points leader out here, Brad Newman. 5 wins on the season, trying to make it 6 here tonight at IRP. He's definitely going to be a force to be reckoned with for all of these guys up front. And we've seen it before. If you want to win one of these races, he's going to be the one you're going to have to take it from. Definitely one of the faster guys in this league, week in, week out, is that 33 truck. Love the colors on that, the light blue and a little bit darker blue as he puts in a lap time of 21.5. He's going to come home in third right now as Ruben Phelps, last year's champion, right now is on your provisional pole. As we watch Andy Barber right now going around. take the green flag.
See there by just the way he's working that wheel. They're constantly working the wheel all the way around this track, Sean. And I think that is going to be a big thing. Just going to have to be nice and gentle on those first, I'd say, 12 laps to get that heat in the tyres, and then not overdrive the truck, so you're not getting too much heat into it. So it's a double-edged sword here at Lucas Oil.
Most definitely. You have to manage how fast you want to be over the beginning of the run and decide or not if you want to make it towards to the end of that run and force your hand when it comes to that pit stop. We're watching the 83 now. It's my pick for the race, the 83 of Matty Raymond. One of the front runners here week in, week out in this little league here. So he's going to come across the line and come home in third. That's actually a pretty good lap, all within a tenth, as we have the front four all within a tenth of each other.
That's a dangerous sight before we head over to a commercial. SRM on the front three spots, so look out, drivers.
Most definitely. We're going to step away for the moment, get some ads in now before the racing starts. We'll be back with the green flag here.
Here at TWRS, we're always here to help our squad when they need a little push in the right direction. That's just who we are. We're a beautifully diverse group of goofballs dedicated to driving fake race cars as fast as possible. And we continue to push each other to the front using the power of nonsense. We have one of the strongest NASCAR programs on the service, and you can access it all for $24.99 a month. And we just released individual subscriptions for $14.99 a month for each NASCAR vehicle. We also just added a Rallycross program, and our IndyCar program is taking off as well. So come join the weird side. We have speed and cookies. Cookies are not included in some locations.
Welcome back to IRP here for your Southern Thunder Truck Series. Gridding up here at the moment, we're going to run through our starting grid. On the pole is going to be Ruben Phelps in the 06 truck. On the outside, Lachlan Urquio in the 42. Third place is going to be Matty Raymond. Fourth is Brad Newman. Fifth is going to be Brad Wright in the 19 truck. And sixth, Andy Barber in that 5. Seventh is going to be Andy's son Ryan in the 05. And in eighth, Mark's pick for the race, the 213 of Ben Henniker. Ninth place is going to be Ryan Blundell. 10th is going to be his buddy Tim Blundell in the 4. Routing out your field is going to be Mark Grocott in 11th position. Kind of a little bit of a short field tonight. Maybe these guys can get spread out and be more of a pit strategy race, not have too many incidents out there. What do you think, Mark?
Well, that's what I'd be hoping for. Just some calm heads to start this race off. It is a long race, but it is a short track. Let's just hope they just all settle down straight from the word get-go. And we get some good green racing in, and everyone's just got to calm heads.
I think that's what we're going to see. If not, we might have one or two cautions towards the back, but I wouldn't be surprised if these guys all get packed up and start getting a little crazy towards the end of this thing. These guys always put on a good show. 2 laps of pacing here. Won't take us very long to get to the green flag. What do you think for this first 10 laps? Who you think is going to prevail going out, on this front row here? You think Lachlan's going to be able to hang it around the outside, or Ruben's going to get the jump on him?
Knowing the boys from SRM, they'll get in the single file as quick as they can, I would say. I would say Ruben to take the lead, followed by Lachlan, and for him to shut that 33 truck out and get Matty Ray up in the third place.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be interesting here to see if that 33 car can kind of break this SRM 1-2-3 up front. As the lights go out on the pace truck, we are coming around turn 2 one final time. I think it's going to be quite a show here tonight. 175 laps might sound daunting, but it is not. It is not too long of a race here at IRP, so these guys, if they want to get up towards the front, they're going to have to start making moves here on the jump as pace truck comes down off pit road. Ruben Phelps bringing the field around turn 4. Green flag is out, and we are underway here at IRP. Going down to turn 1, Lachlan's going to lift a little bit, and Ruben's going to get the jump as behind them, Brad and Matty Raymond tight, side by side, coming off of turn 2. Expect that high line to get a little bit of a run there. Brad tries to move down to the bottom, but big dive by Matty Raymond in that 83.
Yeah, you could just see there how cold the tyres are on that first lap. Lachlan getting a little push, but now he's been stuck on the outside. He really should have tried to get down on that inside lane and run there with Phelps. But everyone now behaving themselves and getting the race done, getting the job done.
Side by side here for second, Brad Newman underneath Lachlan Urquiel. Very, very tight here early in the race. Almost a little bit of a contact in the center of 1 and 2. But Lachlan's going to prevail off turn 2. Does the 33 dive it down and be deep into the corner? I don't think so. The 42 is going to be able to hold on to the second position as they come off of turn 4 here to take lap 4.
Seems like, I was just going to say, it seems like Lachlan's decided that he's going to run that high line all race. So that'll be a little bit better for him on tyres and won't wear that right front out so quick.
Yeah, that high line has a little bit extra banking than the lanes there on the bottom, so it's always going to prevail and be the faster line around here, but you're more at the hest of the guy below you and how hard he wants to drive to get around you. See, coming off of turn 2, nice and single file here up towards the front. Ruben Phelps still the leader. Lachlan trying to hunt him down as we got side-by-side action back here. That is the 19 of Brad Wright and Ryan Barber coming off of turn 4. You see the power in that top line there as he come off of turn 4. You can just get back in the gas and hold it much more earlier than anybody below you on the bottom.
So we've been 175 laps. I just worked it out. It should be about 80 minutes worth of racing if we can stay green. So it's going to be interesting if we do stay green, just to see who decides to pull the pin first and come in and take some tyres and fuel. I can imagine that they will take tyres at every stop they come for. But if they make the tyres last to that lap 87, they'll only have to take the fuel once and maybe another set of tyres towards the end of the race.
And with this field as close as it is, coming down and pitting 1 or 2 laps early can really jump you ahead of a lot of the guys in front of you. If you're running 3rd, 4th, 5th position, you come in 2-3 laps before anybody else, you're going to find yourself gaining some track position there on that overcut.
You can just see there, Ruben Phelps just touched the outside wall with the rear of that truck. It's starting to get a little bit pushy. So look towards these guys, maybe trying a different line. I'm actually surprised that they're not trying to diamond this track like a speedway, where you drive in high and come down mid corner and then drive out again. And again, we see Ruben touch that wall.
It's side-by-side battle here. That 19 is not giving up on Ryan J. Barber. We saw a little bit of wall contact there in turn 1 by Ryan Barber. You can get away with that here on the entry, but these guys are running super tight, super hard, 11 laps into this race. Battling for the 6th position. 19 is just not giving up, trying to make that bottom side work, but it's such a hard pass to make here at IRP. That bottom just feels tight, and you really have to use up the guy above you. He's finally going to get cleared through the center. Is that 05 going to stick that nose up there? And it is no. The 19 is going to clear him for that 6th spot.
Just looking at the lap time, Sean, they're second off the pace of qualifying. They're running around the 22.2, Ruben is, so a little bit slower than the qualifying and some practice times. So I think they're all just out there trying to preserve tyres, and they know what the job in front of them is.
And with 12 laps into the race, sometimes that the tire will already show that much fall off at the short track like this. Without much banking, you're using up the mechanical grip underneath the truck, and usually that means tires.
Yeah, so I'm going to ask you a question. To me, this is a short track, but it's also a flat track because it's under 10 degrees of banking. Now, I know some Americans would say, no way, it's not a flat track, but to me, it's a lot more flatter than a lot of the other tracks we go to in this series.
No, most definitely a flat track. This is one of the most less banked short tracks that I can think of on the NASCAR calendar. We saw a big wiggle right there out of the 06 in the lead, and it is heating up front as that 42 of Lachlan Urquio starting to reel him in as we watch the 83 and Andy Barber going side by side here. This is a battle for fourth. Andy Barber really has reeled in that 83 of Matty Ray. He's going to maintain that top line position going down to turn one, but it looks like that 83 is able to hold on to the spot. Now, as you were saying earlier, Mark, this is one of the toughest short tracks on the NASCAR schedule. Really isn't much banking, really isn't much of a braking zone either, so you really have to finesse your way around anybody that you're faster than. Probably one of the hardest places to make a pass of all the short tracks.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't even think, just lost the name of it there for a minute. Sorry, mental block. But I would imagine most of these guys, I know when I used to run the trucks, we used to turn the braking up onto the front and then put it more to the front for the brake bias, and then as the load get lighter and the fuel, move the bias back a little bit. So these guys would be working all through the race.
And most definitely you're going to be working that brake bias towards the back as your tires wear off. It's just another tool for you to use. And this is a hard track to get around like we have been mentioning, so you want to use all the tools you can that are in your box.
I would imagine in real life that this would be spotters and crew chiefs will be talking to these drivers almost constantly, always feeding them information. We're a little bit lucky here that we don't have a great big field, but we can see by the way these guys are going, there's been some great action so far, some side-by-side racing and even a little bit of rubbing, and that's what NASCAR's all about, and the same with the trucks.
Most definitely, as we see this 83, Matty Ray, my pick for tonight, he has fallen into the fourth position here. Last couple laps, though, him and Brad Newman have been faster than Ruben and Lachlan up front. That might be a little bit of the 86 and the 42 just, managing their pace at the moment. But right now, that 33 and 83, they're heading up to these guys. We're going to have a 5-truck battle for the lead here shortly.
We seem to have two groups forming, front 5 and the back 6. A little bit of a gap now between Ryan and Andy Barber. So this front group is starting to just open up the gap ever so slightly.
Yeah, we see a little bit of a tight push coming into that 05 truck of Andy Barber. Been kind of putting in some good laps here these last couple laps, trying to hold off the challenge from the 19 of Brad Wright. Be interesting to see which one of these guys are the first ones to really fall off and have a noticeable tire disadvantage. So big wiggle right there into the wall. 05 of Ryan Barber. That is just part of racing here at IRP. Getting back in that gas, fighting the truck, and you see a perfect example of it right there.
How much does that hurt the rear tyres when you get into a slide like that? I would imagine it would be putting enormous heat into those rear tyres.
Oh, it most definitely does, and it takes a couple laps to kind of cool him back off, so you're going to see him struggle for the next lap or so as he gets those tires back to a working temperature, and that might open the door for that 19 truck, but he just doesn't seem close enough at the moment to really pounce on a mistake like that.
Back up front, it's closing up even ever slightly more. Brad Newman now almost right on the back of Lachlan Urquio, and Matty Ray is pulling along Ryan Barber, Andy Barber, I should say. So it's definitely heating up front and down back.
Most definitely, these guys are working these trucks right now at the moment. Really kind of taking it easy though. Right now, we still have a long way to go. We're only 30 laps into this race already, though. 30 laps done. Well, 27, almost 30 laps, but these guys are kind of just biding their time, waiting for later in the race where the pit strategies are going to make a difference.
And with these trucks, I would imagine that we're probably going to stay green for a long period. So we might get to that first stop of 75 to 80 laps on tyres where they don't have a choice but to come down pit lane, take service on the green.
Yeah, I would say so, but these trucks right here, Ryan Barber, Brad Wright, Ben Henniker right there, all packed up together. These guys are really putting on a fight right now. If we are going to get a caution, it might be right here what we're watching. We've already seen a couple mistakes out of that 05. This early into the race, and this early into a tire run, it's not a very good sign. But he's starting to get it together and actually running some pretty fast laps, trying to close in on his pops right there, running in 5th.
I've just been up and watching the 06. That truck seems to settle down now. It's got a little bit more of a gap back over second place Urquio. So it looks like whatever the problem was, he's been able to cool them tyres down and pull that little ever slightly gap. And that's also pulled Urquio away from Newman a little bit. So good running, good strategy. Went out a little bit hard, and now they've backed off, and now they're having another run.
And one thing that actually does matter here, even though these guys are going pretty slow in the center of the corners, is that dirty and clean air. The 86 has got a nose full of clean air, and everybody behind him's in his wake, and that's really going to affect these trucks through the center. And if you're able to get close and pass somebody, you have to have quite a big gap on pace advantage over them. Kind of almost like it is in F1 or open wheel racing, where you need a little bit of a delta to get around some of the guys in front of you with the dirty air.
Yeah, definitely. And one good thing here too is they don't get although they get air disturbance, they don't get them disturbance like the F1 or even a sprint car gets dirty air over the front and everything. So we can just see here Lachlan just sitting half a truck width below the line that Ruben's taking. That's probably get some cool air into the front of that truck too. They get pretty hot running there, and we can just see Ruben touch the outside wall again coming through turns 2 and 3.
Yeah, running stagnant off the guy in front of you is definitely the move to try to get some clean air on that nose and get those tires to grip. Running in their wake is just not going to get it done. You have to do something different to get around the trucks in front of you. You can't be following and matching whatever they're doing right as you're trying to pass them. It's never going to work out that way. But that 42 has really closed in over these last 4 or 5 laps.
Yeah, he's definitely seems to be a little bit quicker than Phelps. So just looking at times, Ruben's last time was a 22.6, and Urquio's was a 22.5. So he is a little bit quicker than Phelps. So we may see him try and make a move. But then again, Ruben can come down and put a nice little block on, and that'll just ruin the run that Lachlan's having.
And even though these guys are teammates, we've seen some fierce battles out of these two. You wouldn't think they were teammates with how they race each other on track, and that's kind of what we want to see. Not too much of the team game, not too much of team orders, but these guys, they really go at each other.
Yeah, I've known these guys now for over, I'd say 6 years. Phelps, Urquio, and Matty Ray. Matty Ray being the team boss, he says, like most guys, you can race as hard as you like, but just don't wreck each other. But we've also seen that happen too on the odd occasion.
If you start checking out some of these guys towards the back of the pack, that's Mark Grocott. This is Ben Henniker here, the 218. He's all over this 19 truck. We saw this 19 really fighting with Ryan Barber earlier. Seems like he might have used some of this stuff up a little early. Is now he's got that 218 all over. I'm sorry, 213 all over his back bumper. This
he's really closed up. Yeah, he's really up. he's definitely got the truck over.
Well, that 19's been on the bottom for most of this race, and I think that's going to really start showing here towards the end of the tire runs. Really eats up the right front the more and more you run that bottom. What Ben needs to do is get to the outside. He's just following him around the track. He needs to go where he's not. He jumped up to the outside and possibly got a little bit of a run on him. Might get some track position on him and able to make the pass, but right now he's just kind of following him through the corner.
Yeah, he's got to, as you said, got to try something different. I'd even be trying the old speedway trick in making the track into a diamond. So up high, and as we say that, he's making a move, and he's got the move done into turn 3.
Great pass there by Ben Henniker, and that 2-1-3 is going to move him up into the 7th position. Up front, we do have a battle for the lead, heating up. Lachlan Urquio within a couple tenths of Ruben Phelps last time by. He is really stalking that 06 truck right now. I don't think it's going to be too long until we see these guys side by side.
It's definitely a good fight here between the teammates.
And they've really put some space between them and Brad Newman in 3rd.
Yeah, again, we like as you said, Shane, I should say. You've got to try something different, and we can see Urquio trying to get down and get under Phelps, but Phelps is now starting to use that mid-track, mid-corner.
Definitely working those tires, definitely working that clean air, and he is really roped in that 06, but he's kind of just stalking his prey right now, looking for a mistake, looking for an opportunity maybe to get around that 06, as we see Ruben move a little bit towards the bottom, try to put some dirty air on the nose of Lachlan in the 42.
To me, that is the more conventional way to run this track. Like most short tracks, just get down and let the truck roll around mid-corner, then get back onto the gas as you're starting to straighten up again. Really looks after those rear tyres and that right front.
Most definitely. It's definitely, this is a track where there are almost 3-4 different lines you can run. And like we mentioned earlier, you just got to run something different from the guy that you're trying to pass.
My question though is, are we going to see someone jump into pit lane with 4 sets of tyres over the wall? Are we going to see that person try for the undercut?
Well, as we close in on 50 laps, if you are going on their 2-stop strategy, pit window's going to be opening here in about 10-15 laps for that. So it'll be interesting, like you said, to see if anybody does jump down. Before we get there, I think it's a good time to step away, maybe get a couple ad breaks in while we have some clean and green running here at the moment.
Here at TWRS, we're always here to help our squad when they need a little push in the right direction. That's just who we are. We're a beautifully diverse group of goofballs dedicated to driving fake race cars as fast as possible. And we continue to push each other to the front using the power of nonsense. We have one of the strongest NASCAR programs on the service, and you can access it all for $24.99 a month. And we just released individual subscriptions for $14.99 a month for each NASCAR vehicle. We also just added a Rallycross program, and our IndyCar program is taking off as well. So come join the weird side. We have speed and cookies. Cookies are not included in some locations.
Welcome back to IRP. Battle for the lead is heating up as these guys close in on a couple lap trucks here. 58 laps into this race.
Yeah, it's these back markers now can play a nice little battle player out, but they've both looked like they've gone low and letting these leaders come through. So it's going to be interesting as the rest of the field catches these guys now.
5 on pit road, we talked about it. Somebody coming down, getting some fresh tires here, biting early, and it's going to be the first one on pit road. Is that 05 of Ryan Barber. Shout out to his granddad, Mike Barber. He's in the not feeling too well right now, watching the broadcast. Going to wish him all the best and wish him some to get better, and we hope to see him back and full of life here soon. But this battle for the lead still heating up as the 05 exits the pits right in front of him. That new tires, you're going to see the power of those new tires. He's going to be able to just drive away from these guys, really not be a factor in this battle for the lead. Hopefully he can get some good laps in here and maybe get some track position.
Yeah, well, I'm surprised. I thought he would have gone 2 laps down, but I think he only took left sides by the looks of it in pit lane. He just caught the end of it, so be interesting to see if he did actually take 2 or 4 tyres there.
Yeah, it's a short pit road here too, so you really don't lose too much time coming down, at least down the pit road itself. So 2 laps down might be a little bit of a stretch, but he wasn't too far off the leaders, but 1 lap down, still a long way to go to make up.
Yeah, but he'll get that lap back if these guys come in and when they come in for their pit stop too. But it's a little bit strange here. Pit entry is actually on turn 3 or coming into turn 3. And then by the time you're midway through turn 3, you're actually in pit lane. So it is still a short lane, as you said.
And we're not too far away from that halfway point that we had mentioned earlier on making it on 1 stop. That was 87 laps. Only got about 23 laps until that point. This battle for the lead still hot and heavy as we see the 05 working around some of the lead lap trucks here. It's going to be the 19 he's going around there, Brad Wright. He's battling with Brad earlier in the race. You see the power of those new tires. He just drives around them and drives away.
Yeah, definitely would like a new set of rubber every 10 laps or so. If you could do it, because it's definitely a godsend.
We got Brad Newman on pit road, your 3rd place truck. It's going to come down and bite and make his pit stop here. Still a little early for that 1-stop strategy, but coming down this early, might have to commit to a 2-stop.
Yeah, definitely not going to make the end of the race with these coming this early. It's definitely going to be a 2-stopper.
Nice clean entry there.
Yeah, he looks like he's going to take 4 tyres, so...
Yeah, really no other choice to make to try to cover off that 05. Try to keep some track position over him. Still a hot and heavy battle for this lead. That 42 truck is all over Ruben Phelps. Just wait for him to make 1 mistake, but we don't see too many mistakes out of Ruben. He is usually smooth and consistent every lap, and that is what we have seen for 68 laps here tonight.
100%, mate. You know, Lockie's got to try that low line, get down and run that low line. I think the only way he's going to do it is do a Hail Mary into the turn, and but you've got to watch then of the big push-up track.
It's still a little early in the race for Hail Marys. You know, it's usually the last play of the game.
Never too early for a Hail Mary. That's if it works out.
Yeah, that's if it works. Usually it's just an incomplete pass, you know. Battle here between Mark Grocott and Tim Blundell for 8th position. They've gained a couple spots through all these pit stops here. They are really playing it smooth and easy with these lead lap trucks, giving them room, being smart about it. You see that 33, he just came out of the pits on new tires. You're going to see the advantage it gives him right here through the center of the corner. He's just able to make that truck turn and get back in the gas much quicker than everybody around him as he gets underneath that 213 of Ben Hedeker and just drives right by him like it's nothing. Be interesting to see how much longer Ruben and Lachlan and Andy, Matty Ray, how much further they go on this set of tires. So we are only within about 15 laps of halfway. These guys have done a pretty good job keeping their trucks underneath them to go this long.
You're definitely right. Well, we just seen there in the last couple of laps, while you guys were on the backpack, Ruben just touching the wall again on the outside.
That's going to become more and more frequent here later in the race. You can get into that wall a little bit and get away with it here. You almost can actually gain time if you hit the wall at the right angle and just bounce off of it and get back into the gas. But you really don't want to do that until it's late in the race where you have the truck to use up and do it. No sense in doing it now with such a long way to go still. 100 laps to go next time by.
But 87, lap 87 is half race, so we should see these guys down in the next 10 laps, I would say.
And if I'm that 42 truck, if I'm Lachlan, I'm going to want to pit a lap or two before Ruben. No sense in following him down pit road, then you're just going to be following him off pit road. So Lachlan's really got to be careful here and try to pick and choose what lap he wants to pit. Maybe even catch Ruben off guard.
100% correct. And he's in the right spot to do that, to catch Ruben off, because he's following Ruben, so he can just decide at the last minute to dive into the lane and take service.
Right now, the fastest truck on track is that 33 of Brad Newman. He's running about 0.8 quicker per lap than these two leaders on their old tires, and that's all going to come back to him. When these guys come down to make their pit stop, he's probably going to be way up ahead of them. But they're going to have the new tires then and slowly reel him back in. That seems like that's going to be the race for the win right now.
You've really got to watch how slow, how much more quicker these guys are that are on these new tyres. Because as you're saying, that's going to close Newman up, and if they wait too much longer, I think Newman may have the tyre life to jump him, and then it's going to be hard for these guys to get back by him.
At this rate, he jumped them a long time ago. You know, he's running 0.8 quicker per lap, 7/8, and you know that's only 6 laps out of the pits. And it's been about 15 since we've seen that 33 on pit road, so he's definitely has jumped those guys on the strategy call. But then they're going to have the fresh tires, and they're going to have to work their way around him.
Yeah, if you can get in and out of pit lane and stay in front of your competitor, it's a lot easier than trying to drive around him, because we've seen how hard. And Phelps makes the dive in the pit lane. Phelps is down pit lane. Leclerc has stayed out for another lap.
A little earlier than we expected, but Ruben Phelps decided to be the one to pull the pin out of the grenade, come down and make his pit stop here. Definitely a good move by him and not giving Lachlan that ability to undercut him. We're going to see him coming into his box here. He's hoping for a nice smooth entry, and he gets it. And he doesn't have to worry about speeding either with his box being so close to that green cone. He can just get back into the gas and take off when he's done with his pit stop. Lachlan's still out there, has not made his pit stop yet. Didn't come around the 2 times afterwards. As Ruben's going to exit pit road, he's about 6 seconds behind Brad Newman. That's going to be as much time as he's lost to Brad over these last couple laps. He's got 6 seconds over him right now at the moment.
Leclerc's still staying out. He's going. I think he's going to go for the 87 laps. But you can just see there in that back shot, in the background of that shot, Newman is closing in on Berkeley.
Handicap road here.
Yep.
Your choice for the race, Ben Hedeker. He was running into 5th position. That's actually a couple laps after everybody else had pitted. Right now, fastest lap of the race being run right now by the 06 of Ruben Phelps on those new tires, trying to close back in on Brad Wright in front of him. He's closed in about a second and a half since he came off pit road, really trying to use up those new tires while he has them. Still 5.5 seconds up the road is Brad, though. And with Brad catching up to the 42, it'll be interesting to see if that teammate in the 42 truck kind of holds him up a little bit. Maybe gives Ruben an extra little bit of a advantage to close in on that gap. But I think he's going to close it in either way. He's been running some very, very fast times out there on those new tires.
Berkeley in pit lane now.
And there's your leader in the 42 truck coming down pit road. 86, lap 86, and like you said, just at the halfway point. So he is going to be the one to watch. He's going to probably come out in 3rd spot, but he's going to be one to watch and see if he can really close in on those front 2 in front of him and use up those new tires while he has them.
Oh no!
A little bit long into pit box. It cost him an extra second there. Did a good job putting it in reverse and getting it back into the pit box there, but that is a mistake that's going to hurt him just a little bit, but it is a mistake. As he comes off pit road, he's still about... He's going to be stuck behind a couple of other trucks here. That 05 truck even jumped him, and Ryan Barber did. But with these new tires, I expect that 42 truck to be on the move. He ain't going to waste no time getting around Ryan. He's not going to waste any time getting around Brad in front of them.
That pit stop was a second and a half longer than Ruben Phelps, so that overrun has cost him dearly. So it's now a matter of he's really got to use those tyres to try and catch back up.
Well, if anybody's going to do it, I'd say this 42 truck is one to do. He's been fast week in, week out. Really one of the faster guys in this series. And chasing down last year's champion and chasing down this year's point leader into 33 and 06 is definitely going to make for an interesting race up front.
We just see the team boss, Matty Raymond, in the pit lane. So that should be just about everyone in and done their first service.
Matty Ray had coming down on pit road. The only person that has not pitted is the 5 truck, Andy Barber. And once he comes down and pits, it's going to cycle that 33 up front. Definitely running along here on that 5 truck, trying to preserve those newer tires for the end of the race. We have a black flag for Matty Raymond speeding on the entry, I imagine. He is going to be sitting in pit road for an extra 40 seconds. It's definitely going to put him a lap down to everybody in front of him who he is racing that has already pitted. That's a killer of a penalty for the 83 truck. My pick for the race. Oh no. I'll tell you, I got a speeding penalty about 6 hours ago in that ISCA race, and that killed my race myself, so I feel his pain.
Yeah, it doesn't seem a long time on paper, but you definitely a long time while you're sitting there in the truck waiting for that time to go by.
No, that 40 seconds, man, it feels like 5 minutes. I about got up and quit. It's funny too, you'll run a race like this and everything will be good, you'll be nice and cool and calm, and you'll make one mistake and then 30 seconds later you're covered in sweat.
And that one mistake seems to lead to other mistakes too.
Most definitely, yeah. Made a couple.
I don't know of anyone that's had a penalty and then come out and ran the rest of the race clean. So we'll just see how Matty Ray handles that. But that's dropped him out of the top 5, back down in the 9th position now.
As we have a battle up front here. This is actually for the 2nd position right now, but right now it's going to cycle out to be the lead as Ruben Phelps has now caught the 33 of Matty Ray. Taking him almost 20 laps to catch in that 6 seconds, but he has caught it up and he's working that bottom underneath him. That 33 is not going down without a fight as they are side by side coming down the backstretch door to door. Big dive to the bottom by the 06. He's going to move up the track a little bit, kind of squeeze that 33, pinch off his throttle. He's going to get the job done. 2nd place for Ruben Phelps. That's going to be a net lead for him right now at the moment, as we are still waiting for that 5 truck of Andy Barber to pit. But right now, these guys are only 10 seconds behind him on track. Ain't going to be long until they catch him for actual position.
And I'll tell you what, Andy Barber's done well to make his tyres last as long as he has, because I really couldn't see getting much more than 87 laps out of the set of tyres before one of them goes pop.
No, I would agree. He's done a masterful job keeping those tires underneath him. But I imagine he'll be pitting very, very shortly, long before these guys get to him, especially with only 75 laps to go this time by. Because you need time to catch back up. You need time to make those new tires work. And right now, time is running out already. We are already past halfway, coming back around at 74 to go. Definitely goes by quicker at the short tracks.
Yeah, if you were Andy Barber, I guess you'd be praying for a caution right about now in one way, but in another way you'd be saying, "No, let's just keep going."
No, he's definitely hoping for a yellow right now because they'll all follow him down, and he would come back out as the leader. But these guys are all pretty spread out, and if we do see a yellow, it's going to be somebody making a mistake on their own.
Everyone settled back down as the run, as we got further into that tyre run. We seen guys getting into the outside wall, but that's all seemed to have stopped for now. So everyone's just staying calm and running out the tyres, and we can see now Urquio catching back up on the back of Newman. So we may even have a play for a 2nd place here, or 3rd place at the moment.
Yeah, I was just about to mention him in that 42 truck. He is the fastest truck on track by half a second. He only has, what is it? I'm trying to do the math here. He's got 7 laps fresher tires than Ruben in the 06, and he is still half a second quicker right now at the moment. Only 2.5 back. And that is a masterful job by Lachlan to really catch up all that ground already. Still has 70 laps to get back up to Ruben. But that's not that long of a way to go here. These laps are ticking off pretty quick, 22-second laps. It's not a long time.
No, definitely not. I think we may, with the tyre life, that's actually surprising us. We might actually see these guys run to the end on this set of tyres.
I would say so, as Lachlan makes the pass there for net 2nd place here on Brad Newman, still waiting for Andy J. Barber to pit. But right now, at the moment, that's going to be for 3rd place as Lachlan Urquio moves up. Gets around Brad Newman, who we saw pit much earlier than the 2 in front of him. And now he's going to set his sights on Ruben Phelps.
And when Lachlan gets to the back of Ruben, are we going to see some moves being made? Some dives down the inside. As you said, much younger tyres than these other 2 guys. And he may just be able to pull off a miracle and get that race win.
I believe so. He's got a pretty good pace advantage right now over Ruben Phelps. Although it's only down to about 2/10 right now, we might start seeing those tires go away from the 42, but he is really, really closing in right now at the moment, within a second of that 06 truck.
And we can see there on screen the Rubens still moving through the field, through the back markers. And
yeah, he's definitely getting held up here a little bit by that 05 truck. Gets the job done going down to turn 1. Still lost some valuable time there the last couple laps trying to get around him. As Andy finally comes down to make his pit stop. 65 laps to go. He's going to be coming out like a bat out of hell, though. It's going to be interesting to see how far up he could get. Right before the pit stop, he was running 5th right on the back bumper of Matty Ray.
Oh, and he's made a mistake. He's made a mistake coming into his pit box. Again, though, he was quick to get it in the reverse.
Second truck we've seen do that tonight. It's not too big of a mistake, but every single second counts when you're running a strategy like this.
100%, and especially on a short track like this. So now he's just got to keep calm and get out there, get up to speed, and start the drive. Let the tyres do the work on the truck, and not think about that mistake.
He's back a lap and a half back right now. Shouldn't be too long for him to catch up to the leaders in front of him. And he's going to have a pretty good tire advantage on them. Should be able to get around them cleanly. As right now, though, the battle for the lead is heating up. Lachlan Urquio within a second of Ruben Phelps out front.
And we just see, I've just seen there why the cameras were focusing on Barber, that Ruben started to get into the wall again. So just a little, I don't think it's tyres. I think it's more that he's just trying to work things out in his head and made a slight judgment, because he's only done it once since he's been back out, and that was a lap and a half ago.
And we see the 33 coming down to make his second pit stop of the night. Like we said earlier, he is committed to that 2-stop strategy. Was really falling off the pace there, about half a second slower than the 2 in front of him. So now he's going to come down while these guys are going to be out there on old tires and try to be on the offensive and gain back up on them.
So what Newman now his hopes is that we stay green and we don't get a caution, because will be in the best position on tyres and fuel.
Nice, clean, quick stop there by that 33. He's going to come out about a lap and a half back, but still got time to get it done, as the 05 of Ryan Barber also comes down for his second pit stop of the night. A little bit of a split strategy here. Some of these guys coming down for 2 stops, some of these guys coming down for just 1 up front. The one-stop strategy seems to be working for Ruben Phelps and Lachlan Urquio, but Lachlan has closed in on that 06, but has not been able to get the pass done. Dirty air really affecting that 42 as these tires start to lose their little bit of the newness in them. Starting to warm up, starting to get a little bit worn. That's going to really matter as he closes in on Ruben up front.
100%. So we've just got to see how these 2 guys run this, and we see Ruben back down in mid-track, because he knows that Lachlan's prefers that mid-track through that turn. So now we've got to see if Lachlan's has the nerve to go around the outside.
Outside line's definitely preferred here, but right now he's just stuck in that wake of Ruben Phelps. 55 laps to go. Still a long way. It's a long time to hold somebody off. But right now those tire bits are starting to even out. That 7 laps that Lachlan had over him starting to matter less and less as his run goes on.
Yeah, you've really got to make that tire life work for you with him. As soon as you can catch him, at least make a couple of dives at him and try and make that tire life work for you.
Yeah, most definitely. It's going to be interesting to see if at any point he gets close enough to make a move, but right now he just hasn't been able to get within that 2/3 bubble. Masterful job, though, by Ruben Phelps. Get down pit road a little early, get a little bit of track position, and then hold him off for this long already. The longer he holds him off, the harder it's going to be for Lachlan.
So right now we've only got 3 trucks on the lead lap: Ruben Phelps, Lachlan Urquio, and Ben Henker.
Well, I think right now might be a good time to step away, get a couple ads in before we get to the end of this race. We'll be back here for the finish from IRP. Put these guys in side by side, and you guys will be able to enjoy the show still.
You've got what it takes.
Ladies and gentlemen, ready for countdown. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, ignition.
Man, this is some of the greatest stuff I've ever heard. Ooh.
These go to 11.
Here at TWRS, we're always here to help our squad when they need a little push in the right direction. That's just who we are. We're a beautifully diverse group of goofballs dedicated to driving fake race cars as fast as possible. And we continue to push each other to the front using the power of nonsense. We have one of the strongest NASCAR programs on the service, and you can access it all for $24.99 a month. And we just released individual subscriptions for $14.99 a month for each NASCAR vehicle. We also just added a Rallycross program, and our IndyCar program is taking off as well. So come join the weird side. We have speed and cookies. Cookies are not included in some locations.
You saw the battle there and side by side. Lachlan Urquio, Ruben Phelps still battling for this lead. 43 laps to go here. IRP. These guys still nose the tail as they maneuver their way around lap traffic. A lot of lap trucks showing a lot of respect there. It's what you want to see, right, Mark?
100%. A lot of spotters talking to each other. I'm on the driver's radio and in here and talking to each other and really being polite and some respect shown to these lead drivers coming through.
We see some of the guys on the two-stop strategy also making their way around, and we saw Andy Barber in third place make his way around these front two, and now Brad Newman's going to be closing in. That's going to pose opportunity for Lachlan to get a little close, as if he's not close enough already.
And we can see how quick Newman's closed in on these guys. So I wouldn't even count him out to driving back around and catching these guys.
No, I would not either. He's putting in some good lap times, especially with this many laps to go. 40 laps is not a long time on the stopwatch, but it's a long time on the racetrack. You see Lachlan up there running a little bit of a higher line, trying to get a little more momentum off the corners, but Ruben's just been inch perfect lap after lap, keeping that truck where he wants it to be, getting back in the gas where he wants to get back into it, and holding off that 42 masterfully.
Yeah,
There's a
definitely.
reason this guy's a champion.
And you can see just the different drive line too. Like Ruben, as I said, a more conventional run now, making that a little bit of more of a diamond. And he's just ever so slightly opened up the slightest gap now between himself and Lachlan. But Lachlan's driving great on that high line, mid-track to high line. Really making that work. But Newman now is going to split these two guys.
Yeah, 30D truck kind of sticking his nose in it at the moment, trying to get around these guys without holding them up. It's a hard ask right now, as this 42, with this many laps to go, really wants to focus on the 06, but he can't. He's focusing on the lap truck behind him, and he kind of shoves him up towards the wall there. Lachlan had a lift for him. He might not be too pleased with that one.
No, it's but I mean to say he's got every right to go out there and race, and we can see the speed difference in that tyre life. He's really closed up on Ruben now. If I was Ruben, I'd be just playing smart and let him go.
Yeah, I would agree, as that 33 gets underneath him here, gets back in the gas and makes the pass to unlap himself. He's running in the 5th position. He's got a couple trucks ahead of him he's going to try to gain. But right now, he's got a long ways to go if he wants any part of that 06 truck and 42. So we got a battle here between Ryan Barber and the 19 of Brad Wright. I feel like this battle's been going on since the start of the race.
100%. And like we spoke about the truck numbers here tonight, but really they've kept us entertained all night. There's been battles right throughout the field. So hats off to the drivers and putting on a show for us and our spectators.
Coming back around, 33 laps to go, this time by. Still nose to tail for the lead. Be interesting to see if Lachlan ever gets that little bit of an advantage on him running that high line. I think he will eventually get there. He seems to be working that center and off the corner really well.
Yeah, look, none of these guys, they're just biding their time, especially Lachlan. I would say look towards the last 8 laps to see Lachlan really put pressure on Ruben and really have a good go in those last 8 laps.
Saw a big wiggle out of that 06 truck coming off of turn 2. Might be the first sign of his tires starting to go. That's what Lachlan wants to see, and he saw every bit of that right there tucked up on his bumper. He's going to keep applying that pressure to that rear tailgate through the center. You see that 7 laps fresher tires really showing themselves right now at this point in the run.
I think that was a smart move by Lachlan to stay out those couple of laps. And as you said, we can see that 06 truck starting to move around. Both in Chevrolet, so there's no difference in the trucks. It's just going to come down to who can handle the pressure.
It's one of the hardest tracks to make a pass at, especially with the high groove being preferred. It's super easy to hold somebody off and hold them up here, as we see the 06 been able to do that for most of this second run since the 42 has caught him. You know, the 42 caught him in such a quick fashion and still hasn't been able to make his way around. We are under 30 laps to go here.
Yeah, this is I don't mind this track. I've won the wheelers here, and I'll tell you what, in those things it's a very difficult track because you can't see where that left front tyre is, and it's quite easy to ride a tyre here.
Yeah, lots of different series have run here over the years. Indy cars, USF 2000, the NASCAR truck and Xfinity series. One of the more popular tracks here in the Midwest is this IRP. Mentioned it earlier, this place even has a road course. Goes around the parking lot. I mean, it'd be nice to have that on iRacing, just don't have it here at the moment.
I have no doubt at some point iRacing will bring it into the fold. Like most of the tracks that people, especially Australians, don't realise that there are road tracks on the infields and outside of these tracks.
And Brad Newman being such a good road racer, I'm sure he wishes we were on that road course tonight. As for right now, we're on the oval, and that 06 is really putting down the laps right now. Has led most of this race from the start to about this point. So we are working under 25 laps to go this time by. Still counting them down, and he still has that 42 right on his bumper.
Yeah, and we're about to see my choice, the 213 of Ben Henke, go a lap down here. It won't be long before we are back to 4 trucks on the lead lap.
Still a pretty good run here by that 213. He's up 3 spots from where he started. You know, usually don't see him up in the top 5, but tonight we do, and I'd say that's a pretty damn good run out of that. He's done a pretty good job of holding these 2 leaders off as well. Kind of, you know, he's in the position where he has to fight them in case a caution does come out. He's going to want to stay on that lead lap. But Ruben,
yeah, 100%.
It's not helping Ruben, though, at the moment. It's putting him in the same dirty air he has Lachlan in.
I guess we can be thankful, too, for one thing, that this is a night race, because I think if we're here through a day race, afternoon race, we'd see a totally different track. We'd see a lot nastier track.
Yeah, I would have to agree with that. Got a black flag out here for the 19 truck of Brad Wright. Believe he might have a flat tire or something. It's causing the black flag. You see him on the apron here. He's probably going to come down, hit pit road. Actually, it's a meatball. Well, the meatball would reflect a flat tire, yeah.
Yeah, it looks like that right front is down.
Pushed it a little too far right now for the moment. It's going to be a little bit of a race killer for that 19 truck as he finally comes down off of pit road. It's going to go 3 laps down, maybe even 4 laps down here with these leaders breathing down his neck. Put him right in the midst of this battle for the win between the 42 and the 06. Oh, big contact into the wall for Lachlan. He had been sending it in there on the outside the last couple laps, and it finally bit him a little bit there, but he gets it gathered up, really didn't lose much in it.
Not a lot of damage down that right side, but it would have hurt that truck.
Yeah, most definitely. But he's using up everything he's got right now to get around Ruben, knowing that the laps are ticking down. This next time around, 23 laps to go. I'm sorry, that's less than 23. It's going to be 18 laps to go. Masterful job by Ruben Phelps here at the moment. They'll keep that 42 truck behind him. Don't expect anything else from last year's champion right now.
Just jump back to have a look at Andy Barber. He's out there by himself at the moment. He's in clean air. So 13 seconds down. It's not unreasonable to expect him to maybe try and catch those lead 2 drivers.
Especially if they start fighting. If these two start duking it out, you know, right now he's about half a second quicker than than Ruben, lap after lap. So that gap is closing, just not fast as he needs it to be. See the 30D truck, he was the last guy to come in down pit road at this top 4. Right now he is the fastest truck on track, trying to close in on Andy J. About a 1/10 and a half, 2/10 quicker per lap on the average. Be interesting to see if he gets up to him as we are under 15 laps to go here.
Well, he's a 100th of a second quicker on that last lap than Phelps Newman, so he's definitely the quickest truck out there.
14 laps to go. Don't blink, it'll be over. Lachlan's still trying to find a way around either the top side or the low side, just stuck in that dirty air, cannot get it done at the moment. But if he has anything, he's going to start bringing it to him now. I don't think this thing is over by any means.
I was just going to ask that. Even though he's your teammate, are you going to put the move on him? If you were in Lachlan's shoes, would you go for the win?
I mean, I'd go for the win, but I probably wouldn't do nothing brash. But last lap, 10 seconds over second, I just might. These guys got plenty of room over third and fourth place at the moment. Although it is going down, that's still plenty enough room to race it pretty hard amongst each other.
Yeah, you got 12 and a half seconds, 12 and 3/4 seconds. So, yeah, I definitely, if I was Lachlan, I'd definitely have a Hail Mary.
I would agree so. Coming back around though, 10 laps to go, this time by. Starting to get down to the last seconds of the game where that Hail Mary comes into play. Right on that back bumper, just doesn't seem to have that extra little bit of pace to get around him at the moment. But right now, he just could be stalking, could have us all fooled.
Yeah, I think it may be just that little bit of dirty air and over that nose. Although he is sticking half a truck wider through those turns, either to the outside or to the inside. I guess what I would do is I'd fade to the inside and then turn it back out to the outside and make a run around the outside.
A little bit of wall contact there for Ruben Phelps. Cost him just a little bit going down the straightaway as Lachlan is a little bit closer than he has been over the last couple laps. Another little bit of wall contact coming off of 4. You can feel the pressure. You can feel the tension in that 06 truck, just in how he's driving. Still stalking him through turns 3 and 4. Not close enough just yet. Our top 5, Ruben Phelps, Lachlan in the 42 in second. Andy J about 14 seconds back. He's going to be battling Brad Newman for that 4th position, and Ben Henniker in the 213s in your 5th spot. Everybody else is 2 laps down or more. But with these top 5 all on the lead lap, a caution would really shake things up as we come across the line. 6 to go.
The question is, do you dive in then? If you get a caution now, do you dive in and take that last set of tyres?
I'd say so, most definitely. Especially with these guys running, almost 2 seconds off the pace of their qualifying times. That's more than enough gap to just run the inside line, drive right by them.
And on a short track, would you just take 2? Questions.
Yeah. But at the moment, no caution yet. As we come back around, it's going to be 4 laps to go. This time by, Ruben doesn't want to see no caution. He wants to see a white flag as Lachlan works through the inside. They're going to be side by side off the corner. A little bit of a wiggle out of the 42 really kills the momentum and keeps the 06 out in front. That might have been that last little dig you were talking about there. But at the moment, he's going to get back into the gas and still work him down. 3.5 laps to go.
I think if he's going to make it work, he's got to go to the outside. I think that's...
And we have a caution on the racetrack. We were just talking about it. It was the 5 truck of Andy Barber running third. Probably the one guy who wanted the caution the most was the cause of it. That is really going to mix things up here. As we see a replay coming down in 3 and 4. Seems like that's the 19 of Brad Wright underneath the 5. Just gets into the left rear of Andy Barber, sends him for a spin. And that's going to bring out the caution.
While we're watching that caution, I can tell you that Phelps and Erkley are in pit lane.
And the whole top 5 coming down pit road right there. Going to be interesting to see if anybody does take 2 tires, but the one issue is everybody third on back was so far back the 2 tires isn't going to gain them any spots. And Lachlan's going to
Okay.
jump the 06 on pit road. He's going to be the one to take the 2 tires as the 06 comes off second. That has got to sting a little bit for Ruben Phelps. He is 2 laps away from the white flag, and these guys got a wreck for basically nothing behind them. 2 guys on 2 different laps. And it's going to cost him to lead off pit road.
I'd like to get confirmation that that Urquio did just take 2. I don't recall seeing the left side up, so it looks like he's taking the outside.
Yeah, most definitely 2 tires there on that 42 of Lachlan Urquio. A big strategy call here to get in front of Ruben Phelps with 2 laps to go from the green flag. It'll be interesting to see if those left side tires are able to give Ruben an advantage. She's going to start on the outside, which is good. But man, we were talking about a caution, and then we might have speaked it into existence. That was quite a happening right there. Only 1 green-white checkered in this race, so if a caution does come out on this first lap, then we will definitely end under yellow.
So
Brad Newman was able.
I was just going to say I'll put my voodoo dolls away now.
Yeah, most definitely. Brad Newman's able to come out in 3rd. He's going to have 4 tires as well. Andy J in 4th. Ben Henniker in 5th. That is going to be all 5 trucks on the lead lap. Green-white checkered coming up. 42 on 2 tires. Everybody else on 4. Is he able to hold them off and steal a win here at IRP away from Ruben Phelps? Coming through turn 4 into the restart zone. And we are green, green, green. 2 laps to go here at IRP. Good jump for the 42 of Lachlan Urquio. He's going to try to get up to the top side here in front of Ruben Phelps, but Ruben's going to make the top work and is not able to do it. Gets a little tight through the center and loses position to the outside of the 42.
Barber into
Here
the wall.
comes
Big
Brad
time.
Newman underneath him. He's going to put Ruben into the wall for 2nd position. White flag is out. That's going to give Lachlan Urquio a nice gap to maneuver around on this final lap. Boy, has this race turned upside down as we are side by side for 3rd behind them. Lachlan Urquio steals a race here at IRP with the caution and wins here in the Southern Thunder Truck Series. Brad Newman comes home in 3rd. Ruben Phelps, the dominating driver of the night, comes home in 3rd position. 4th is going to go to Ben Henniker, and Andy J comes home in 5th. That is your top 5. What did we just see, man, with that caution and the pit strategy? Lachlan was able to get it done.
Yeah, I think if we didn't see that caution, I think that was Ruben's race. But hey, it's truck racing, and it happens to the best of them.
Most definitely. That happens to everybody here in oval racing. An untimely yellow gives the win to Lachlan Urquio on the pit strategy. Masterful job by him tonight, and that has to sting for Ruben Phelps either way. Leading more than 150 laps just for an insignificant contact to kind of steal this one away from him. We're going to run down your finishing order here. Lachlan Urquio, your winner tonight. Brad Newman comes home 2nd. Ruben Phelps in 3rd. Ben Henniker, Mark's pick for the race, is going to come home in 4th. Andy J. Barber in 5th. Matty Raymond in 6th. Brian J. Blundell in 7th. Ryan M. Barber in 8th. Brad Wright comes home 9th. And Tim Blundell in 10th. Mark Grocot's going to come home 11th and caboose on the field.
Yeah, look, we didn't have a lot of numbers tonight, but some great racing right the way through the field. So I'll tell you what, I'm happy coming back into the booth for that race tonight.
Yeah, most definitely. We're going to step away right now, get some final ad breaks in. We'll be back with your interviews with the top 3 finishers.
Here at TWRS, we're always here to help our squad when they need a little push in the right direction. That's just who we are. We're a beautifully diverse group of goofballs dedicated to driving fake race cars as fast as possible. And we continue to push each other to the front using the power of nonsense. We have one of the strongest NASCAR programs on the service, and you can access it all for $24.99 a month. And we just released individual subscriptions for $14.99 a month for each NASCAR vehicle. We also just added a Rallycross program, and our IndyCar program is taking off as well. So come join the weird side. We have speed and cookies. Cookies are not included in some locations.
Welcome back to IRP. After a green-white checkered battle to the end here, Mark's with Ruben Phelps, your third-place finisher who dominated this race tonight.
Hey Ruben, how you going? Welcome to the booth, mate. A bit of a hard luck story there tonight.
Sure is, but it's nice to hear your voice again, Mark. It's been a long, long year and a half since I've heard from you.
Yeah, it's been a long time out of the booth. I've been concentrating on a few other things. But tonight's race, mate, it's got to be a sting for you to lead so many laps, like 95% of the race, and an unfortunate caution, and get just pipped by your teammate and Newman at the end there.
Oh yeah, no, that was pretty obviously disheartening, but I mean it is what it is. Sort of when you get that chicken flag, or not chicken flag, bloody hell, I wish I got the chicken flag, but a yellow flag with 4 or 5 laps to go. I was sort of contemplating what to do. I could have done the 2 tyres like Lockie did, or 4 tyres, and I was like, nah, just trade 4. And of course Lockie sort of had the track position, but I mean at the same time it still could have worked. But then the bump from Brad there sort of screwed that. I nearly lost the podium altogether, which would have been a bummer, even worse, but luckily I managed to get Andy at least, so at least I still got third. But yes, I could have, should have, or at least had a good battle with Lockie to the end there.
Yeah, we were talking about it just probably not more than 10 laps left to go in the race, and we're just saying that if a caution come out, what would everyone do? You know, would you guys take 4 or 2? And we actually seen the difference between the 2 and the 4 with Lockie jumping you. But again, as you said, it was just unfortunate that you got the bump from Newman, and that just put you up into the wall a bit more.
Yeah, that's just when you're on the outside of this track, on the initial restarts, especially at the early running on the tyre, you're basically crowded up there, but the top sort of comes into it a bit, about 10 laps into the run. But as soon as you're out the outside and you haven't quite got the jump, then you're pretty much gonna get stuck there. So as soon as Brad came up there and saw a gap, he sort of moved up, we bumped, and my momentum was gone. So that's pretty much all I had. And then unfortunately, like I said, Andy got past me and then I just had to frickin' dive bomb basically, and thankfully I managed to get third to at least be able to at least speak right now. But still, yes, leading all that race and coming short is definitely hard to think about.
Yeah, it definitely is, mate. But you're still in a good position in the championship. You'll remain in second place in the championship. Although I know you'd rather be that top step, but still a long way to go in the championship, mate. So I wish you the best of luck, and yeah, we'll see you next week at where are we next week, guys?
That's a good question. Kentucky
Yeah,
Speedway actually next weekend. That's going to be an interesting race to watch. Any shout outs for you tonight, Ruben, before we let you go?
Of course, you guys are putting the broadcast on. Of course, SRM Australia, of course, Matty Ray and Lockie been in the race. Obviously, I'm definitely happy for Lockie to get the win. That's 2 weeks in a row now. Of course, our sponsor TWRS. Of course, Scotch's Race Fuel, Cut 6 Ticket Co., Moondog, and our 2 charities of Tears Tourette's Australia and Australia Alopecia.
Awesome, great job tonight, man. You dominated this race. Just let it slip away there at the end with that yellow. We'll have to catch you next week, man.
Yeah, we'll do.
I'm going to be sitting here with your second place finisher tonight, Brad Newman. How you doing, Brad?
Good, mate. How are you?
Doing good, man. Little bit of a different strategy out of there tonight, where you just felt like your tires were going away a little sooner than the two in front of you.
Yeah, those two boys are just too quick for me, so thought I may as well give something else a shot. Like worst case scenario, end up around that sort of position anyway. So thought I'd just try something different.
Yeah, most definitely. I would have to agree with that. Came home in second spot there. A little bit of a last lap contact there with Ruben Phelps on the green-white checkered. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, it's a little bit unfortunate for him. I'm always going to race him hard in that situation. He deserved the win or second. I'm not sure who was in front, but we had that yellow at the end. Those two guys were, much quicker than me and everybody else, it seems. So that's unfortunate for him. But when we get into that situation, I'm always going to race.
Most definitely. Yeah, it's part of short track racing, green-white checkered finish. Great run up through the field tonight. Did you think you had enough there under the green flag cycles to potentially catch those guys in the last couple laps? I forget how far back you were before the caution came out.
No, I think it was wishful thinking to think so. Those two were just they were too quick to not.
Most definitely second place run tonight.
I've just got to ask, Brad, were you always set on the two-stop strategy, or was that just something that you decided in race?
No, it was always. I assumed it would be a one-stop, but just when those two guys were making me look silly, I thought I may as well try something different. So I just tried that on the fly.
Fair enough. Almost a good call. Well, it was in the end.
Almost a good call, yeah. Well, second place run tonight, bud. Do you want to give anybody a shout out for your second place finish?
Just you guys as always putting these events on, and the guys that loves esports. Thanks, boys.
Thank you, man. Good run tonight. And we're going to send it back over to Mark. He's going to be with our winner tonight, Lachlan Urquio. Hey, Lachlan, are you there, buddy?
Yeah, gotcha.
Let's send you over to Mark. I'm going to give it to Mark here. I told him he can interview you.
Evening, Lockie. Good to see you back in the winner's circle. Second week in a row, I believe, now.
Yeah, second week in a row, third oval in a row too. It's
unbelievable,
a
mate.
habit. it's man. I mean, tonight we should have renamed it to Team Watson Rocket Ships, because we had an absolute burner tonight. Like, you see, Ruben dominated most of the race. Strategy in the end is what got me the win, but either way, yeah, it was just such a fast truck tonight. Big props to TWRS this week. They've done a phenomenal job, and it's been kicking ass in the officials too. So
that's excellent. That's good to hear, mate. I've got to ask you: did you have something for him if we stayed green, or was it just a show and show and tell of the nose there at 10 laps out?
It's hard to tell. This place is really tough to overtake. You've kind of got to get a bit physical if you want to make a good move around here. So, and I wasn't really prepared to run into my teammate just quietly. I wasn't going to do that to him. So, I don't know. I would have tried with about 5 to go. The deal was we would look after each other and then have a good race at the end there. But I don't know. It was hard to tell because, again, I'm not about to run over my teammate, and it's a really tricky racetrack to pass on. So it would have been good to see how we could have run it out without the yellow. But yeah, the yellow certainly helped me out tonight for sure.
Yeah, I think we talked that caution into reality, because we were only talking about it probably a lap or so before it actually come out, and then we decided. Asking who was going to go to 2 and who was going to go to 4, and obviously that worked for you. two outside tyres.
Yeah, look, going off wear throughout the race, it was kind of a no-brainer to go the 2 because the inside tyres weren't really wearing at all. I think over a long run, the worst my inside tyre got to was probably about 92 or 93. So for me, I was always going to go 2 just because I wanted to keep the track position. But yeah, Ruben went 4 because I think he was trying to cover off Brad and it kind of hurt him in the end. So I feel for Ruben because he absolutely deserved the race win tonight. But it's one of those things. Yellows kind of change everything.
Yeah, definitely. And unfortunately for the team boss, he got a black flag there, speeding in pit lane. So not a good night for Matty.
Yeah, I think the fact that it was so monotonous and kept lapping after lapping kind of threw him off. And tonight, it's a really tricky pit lane. I wouldn't be surprised if he wasn't the only one that got done in tonight with the speeding.
No, I believe there was one other truck that got done too. So
yeah.
But mate, good to return to the booth and see you up there in in victory lane. Before we let you go, shout out to sponsors and supporters.
Also, massive shout out to TWRS. I think I mentioned it already, but this week's set up so good. I mean, the last couple of weeks have been really fast. The boys over there, Mitch, who's the setup builders, have had an absolute golden run at the moment, so he's done a really good job and absolutely should get on board with those boys. Scotch Race Fuels, who are obviously sponsoring the series as well as us, they've helped us out this year. Big thanks to Cut 6 Sticker Co as well. They've sent us some goodies this year and they're looking after the team, so they've it's good to see a couple new faces on board this year. And then obviously Moondog's been with us for a long time, so big thanks to those guys. And yeah, obviously Maddie, Ruben, the whole race team. I mean, it's such a good group to be part of. I love racing for SRM and I wouldn't change it for the world. But yeah.
Yeah, no. Well, mate, congratulations! 2 weeks in a row. That brings you closer up in the championship points. So, hope to see you back in the winner's circle again very shortly.
That's the plan. Thanks, Mark.
No worries, mate, and congratulations again.
Cheers.
Well, Mark, we saw one hell of a race tonight. We saw pit strategy, we saw a battle for the win, and we had a green-white checker to boot. Any closing thoughts out of you after a great race?
Mate, if this is the racing that's on here every week, I might try and steal my way back into the comms booth a little bit more often.
Well, as long as you don't take my job, that's for sure.
I'll just play the background.
Yeah. We just want to thank our sponsors tonight, Scotch Race Fuels, TWRS, Everything Simulated, 131 Web Radio, Doogie Mobile, and Fallen Veterans Network. If you want to be a driver, there's the league ID. You can sign up on iRacing and join us. Next week, we got Kentucky Speedway, 1.5 mile intermediate track. Going to be here with all your favorites and all these guys trying to put on another great show. Thank you for tuning in. Everybody have a wonderful night.